Hey, welcome to the channel. You ever have one of those days when you can't decide what you want to do? You want to do thing A, thing B? Yep, that's what we're doing. Thing A, thing B. Garden vegetable salsa. 2 ways: smoked, fresh, using fresh vegetables, and dehydrated vegetables. Let's get into it. Okay, these are vegetables out of my garden. Got some jalapenos, some Roma tomatoes, and some garlic. The onion is not from my garden. I don't grow onions, but just gonna get them all diced up here. I'm going for kind of a salsa flavor, but this is for the fresh sausage, not the smoked sausage. So it's gonna be more like a garden vegetable style sausage, where the smoked sausage you'll see here in a little bit is going to be more of a salsa style sausage, because I'm going to add some citric acid to it. I'll just keep chopping the vegetables and we'll go from there. Once I get these all these vegetables chopped up and mixed up, I put them in the fridge, let the flavors kind of blend together and let some of the liquid come out of it. What I end up doing is I add 20% of the weight of the meat in vegetables. So I had 1 kilo, 1,000 grams of meat. So I ended up adding 200 grams of this vegetable mix, or pico de gallo, salsa, whatever you want to call it. I had way more than that. So just make up whatever vegetable blend you want, and then add 20% and you're good to go. So now I'm just going to mix up the spice blend, which is literally, in this one, it's salt and pepper, and then for a binder I'm using some high temp milk powder. Okay, for the second sausage, the smoked sausage, I'm using some dehydrated stuff that from my garden there. I'm adding in some dehydrated diced jalapeno pieces, and here's some chopped onion, obviously from the store because I don't grow onions, like I said. And these are dehydrated tomato pieces. It's like the tops from tomatoes. When I chop up tomatoes and stuff, I always dehydrate the tops on them. And I don't grow cilantro either, so there's some cilantro that I'm adding in. In the other sausage, it was some store-bought fresh cilantro, but now I'm adding in black pepper. Granulated garlic, that's actually out of my garden too. I dehydrated that. And then some insta to keep everything safe while I'm smoking it, because it's in the danger zone for a while. And that was the milk powder. And then you saw there I showed you some encapsulated citric acid. That gets added in right before I case it, and that won't happen until tomorrow. Okay, back to the fresh sausage. I added in the milk powder and the salt and pepper. Get that blending together just until everything gets a little bit tacky. I didn't want to add the vegetables in too soon because I was afraid that the tomatoes would get smushed down and I'd end up with tomato sauce in there instead of pieces of tomato. But you see, I added in the cheese there, getting that blended through, and then I'm going to add in the vegetables and give that just a real quick mix. Make sure it's incorporated. I don't want to go too long because, like I said, I don't want the tomatoes to get mushy. And you will see here in a second, I mixed it until everything got nice and tacky. It sticks to my hand. Everything looks good. It's ready to case up. And I forgot to turn the camera on until I was almost done stuffing this. So I turned it on real quick just to show you the end of the filling the stuffer. And now I'm putting the casing on the horn, and we'll get this stuffed. I didn't say it before, but I mean, this is a pork sausage, 80/20 pork butt that I ground myself, and the cheese that I'm using is Monterey Jack cheese. And I make sure I don't overstuff this, but I just do it, stuff it until I can squeeze my fingers together and they touch, and that stays, it holds that shape. If you go over, you're going to explode that, and if you do it too loose, you end up with air pockets, and that's never any good. You could easily use ground pork from the store. You could do this with ground beef, would probably work out nicely too. So if you don't have a grinder, yeah, you can just use store-bought ground pork, 80/20, store-bought ground beef, 80/20, and it would work out just as well. And now I'm just linking them up. I do every other one. I don't do the twist one way for one, twist the other way for the other. This is just easier. You skip every other. Yes, just skip every other one. Twist it up, and you're good to go. Alright, now that they're linked up, I'll put them on this rack and get a fan blowing on them for about an hour or so, and then they go into the refrigerator overnight, and then I will cook them up tomorrow. Okay, let's work on the smoked sausage one with all the dehydrated vegetables. This one again, it's 1,000 grams or a kilo. And I'll put all of the amounts for the dehydrated stuff and all the spices and everything I used in this one in the description. Okay, once I've got all that mixed up, I'm going to add in the cheese here. And just let that run until the cheese is incorporated into it. And then you see here I mix it until it's sticky like the other one was. Everything sticks to my hand. Everything's well blended up. And now this will get covered up and go into the refrigerator overnight to let the cure do its magic. Okay, it's the next morning, and I'm adding in the encapsulated citric acid. I'm going to give this just a real short, quick blend. I think it was about 30 seconds or something. I don't even think it was that long. Yeah, and now we'll get it in the stuffer and get it cased up. fan noise you hear going on in the background of most of this video is actually my dehydrator running. This time of year, they run non-stop. Okay, now that these are cased up, I let a fan blow on them for a little while I go and get the smoker fired up. Then they go into the smoker. They start for an hour at 120 degrees, then I bump it up to 150 degrees for an hour, then I bump it up to 155 until they hit an internal temperature of 145 degrees. While those were in the smoker, I pulled the fresh ones out of the refrigerator, separated them, and vacuum sealed them up, except for the one that I was going to eat tonight. And then they go into the freezer. Okay, now that they've hit the internal temperature, I'm going to take them out of the smoker and into an ice bath. They go to cool, shrink down the casings, get nice and snappy, and they stay in there for about 10 or 15 minutes, just long enough to cool down. Once they're cool, I snip them apart, and I leave them out to bloom for a couple of hours. It brightens the color up. You see they're real dull looking there, but you can see all the vegetables and everything in the cheese in there. And now they both go into the toaster oven. You can cook these however you want. I put them in the toaster oven at 275 degrees for about 20 minutes till they hit an internal temperature of 155, and then they're ready to eat. Okay, well, they're done. Let's see how they are. Start off with the fresh one, with all the fresh ingredients. The cheese held up well. You see the other side. See the chunks of jalapeno in there. And you see the tomato on the side here. I didn't happen to get any in the cross section there when I cut it, but let's give it a bite. That's a really good sausage. I can taste everything. Casing's nice and snappy. There you can see some of the tomato and the chilies, the jalapenos, red and green ones. It's just a great sausage. It's not real spicy because, well, it's jalapenos. Jalapenos aren't real spicy. So, let's try the smoked one with all the dehydrated stuff. You can see the cheese there. And, it doesn't look that great. But I cooked it right after pulling it out of the smoker. The rest of them, I'm going to leave out and let them bloom, and they'll look a little bit better after a couple of hours. And then all of them get vacuum sealed and put in the freezer until I decide I want to eat them. But let's get this one. It's almost all the same ingredients. This is a completely different sausage. The spice level is a little bit higher. I don't know if it's the dehydrating, because all of the chilies I used were chilies that I grew myself this year. I just dehydrated some of them. But that's a little bit spicier. And then I added that citric acid in there because I was trying to get it more of a salsa flavor. So you get the vinegar, the lemon, or whatever that you get from salsa, and that definitely comes through. I wish I would have added some liquid to that though. It's just a little bit dry. But I was thinking with the cheese and everything in there, it would be all right. But I'm guessing the dehydrated vegetables soaked up a bunch of the liquid, and that's what made it a little bit dry. So if I did that again, I would definitely add some beer or something to that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little experiment here on using fresh vegetables with or dehydrated vegetables. The texture of the vegetables in the sausage is fine. You wouldn't even know that they had been dehydrated. If all you have is dehydrated in the wintertime when I don't have fresh stuff on the vine, I'll do that. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.